let's take another question from the Cisco Sparkboard.
Hey Jason, it's Patty with the College Months. Everybody is talking about diversity today. So my question for you is, how do founders create great teams with diversity and amazing talent? I work with students, parents, and educators, and so diversity is very important to me. Hey, thanks Jason. Have a remarkable week.
Oh, thank you, Patty. That was very nice of you. I hope I do have a remarkable week. I'll let you know how poker goes tonight. I'm hoping the remarkable starts with my poker game tonight. I'm stuck for the year. It's the first time I've been stuck for a year in 3 years. I can't take it. But I got 2 months left. Maybe I can get even by the end of the year. So diversity is on everybody's mind. And I think creating a diversity in a startup, in the first 4 or 5 hires, I understand that it's critical to have some diversity early on. Now, the challenge here is most people are saying, hey, when you start a company, I'm looking for teams who have worked together before. So I just had Pejman on, who is a great angel investor, and he's like, I always look for a team that has history together. Mm-hmm. Now, there is your conundrum. When you start a company or a project, you're going to look to the people you've worked with before. If that group is not massively diverse, in other words, you're coming out of college and with your sorority sisters, you start a company because you've spent 4 years bonding in university as sorority sisters, or you worked at Google on a team and it happened to be a bunch of dudes who went to MIT and then worked for Google on their robotics, and it's 3 white dudes or 3 Indian dudes or Asian dudes, whatever it happens to be. Now you don't have diversity from day one. And from what I understand about the diversity research, starting the diversity push early means it is easier to do than doing it retroactively, because the criticism of culture, we all know, we hear the word culture thrown around. Culture is super important. Well, if you have culture early on, the culture might be the sorority sisters or the MIT geeks who worked on the robotics club. So now you've got this culture which may be actually repelling certain other groups and demographics, genders, etc. So I think it's important to think about this early on. One good thing that's happening, I think, is millennials are coming to the table with a much more diverse group of people. Therefore, you may not have this inception problem that I've seen with older companies, with older founders. Putting all that aside, diversity takes work. It takes being aware. I won't use the word woke because that's becoming a little bit of a trigger word, but like they're parodying it on SNL. But being aware that diversity is important, believing that it's important to have different perspectives around the table, I think is the starting point. And I think a lot of people now realize sometimes people start a company and they don't have a female on the team, or they don't have a male on the team, whatever the case may be. They may be missing a key perspective. They may not have somebody who's African American or Hispanic. And then we have a large population here in California that is Hispanic. You may just lose that entire market, right? If you don't have somebody who's from that market and who lives in that market or grew up in it. So it's clear that diversity equals strength and opens up your aperture to have more opportunity. Therefore, focusing on it early, which means placing more want ads in more places and demanding to see more candidates is the key. If you don't put effort into it, and you just go to your existing pool of the people who are in the MIT club or your sorority sisters and you ask them, you're just not going to have it. And so here at Launch, we look for a more diverse group of people. We're constantly looking to, and when in a small company, you may succeed, you may not. But you have to do the work. If you don't do the work and you're not aware of it, it's not going to happen organically. In fact, the opposite seems to happen organically. So I think the number one recognition is this is important. If you do believe it's important, then you have to make an effort to have a wider pool of candidates and say, we're not going to stop looking for candidates until we see a diverse pool of candidates. What are your thoughts, Brian?
So I agree with you. I've also seen you answer this question really well on other shows. Starting with like equals, like attracts like. right? That's going to happen. Where you came from, the school you went to, the town you went to, the people you grew up with, your friends.
You and I went to high school together.
Wait, who else am I going to start a company with? But somebody I trust, whose strengths I know, whose
Who we
weaknesses
took the same train station into
Exactly.
Manhattan. I mean, the reason you and I became collaborators in a lot of ways was because we were both on the R train.
Yep.
Going
We'd
from
see each
Bay
other
Ridge to Manhattan, we'd
coming
see
home
it.
from work. How was your day today? It sucked. I want to start a company. How was your day today? It sucked. We should start a company together, right? That was basically what we did. And we
Exactly.
did. We went and started a magazine. So
And it
I
was
think,
a boys' Catholic high school, so talk about the aperture being closed. It was only one gender,
Right.
and it was only, generally, I think when we went to Severian, it was Irish, Greek, Swedish,
yeah, it's mostly Catholic kids. In a
Catholic
high
white
school.
kids in Bay Ridge.
A couple of non-Catholics thrown in, but all boys. Now
Yeah.
they're finally 2 years into being a co-ed. Anyway, enough about all boys Catholic high school. So
Trigger
like
warning?
No, like attracts like, and so it's something you have to actively overcome. You have to actually work at it, and it's tough to do it for the sake of doing it. But I think there are ways around it, which is getting not just, let's say I have to hire 3 developers. I have no money. Who am I going to convince? The 3 guys that used to work with me. Okay, now it's 4 white guys in a company. But can you get mentors? Can you get investors? Can you get other people who give you a different perspective? Can you have board members who are diverse? There are places where you can absolutely, you don't have to get these same people to be on your board. You can get a very diverse board. You can get a very diverse group of investors. You can get a very diverse group of customers. The other thing that I would say is everybody focuses on, we have an all-white team, nobody's black, nobody's Asian, nobody's Hispanic. Or we have an all-male team, no females. But I've had some pretty good luck with having geographically diverse teams. So the only other person in my company right now lives in Kansas. Politically diverse teams. So people who don't all vote the same. Because you can get a whole bunch of people in San Francisco that look diverse, and they're missing
But they think
what
the same
half
way.
the country is doing.
Yeah.
Right? That's also a disaster for a product that you want to have consumer adoption. So I think there are many ways to be diverse, but it completely takes work, like you said.
I know we've had this with Inside.com. We send out the Inside Daily Brief, and listen, it's a primarily California-based company with New York people, so it's a coastal company, like a lot of media companies, and people are like, and I can just tell they're from the Rust Belt, they're from Middle America, and they're like, you're just dogging Trump all the time. Trump's getting dogged, and I'm like, really? I don't see that, but okay, I get it. You're reading Breitbart every day, or you're watching Fox News every day, and if we're linking to the New York Times, you're asking us why we don't link to Fox News. One of the reasons we don't link to Fox News that often is they're a TV show, not journalists and reporters. They're commentators. But in a lot of places, in the world, and here in the United States rather, people are watching Fox, which doesn't hire technically investigative journalists like line journalists who are out there doing firsthand reporting. They're commenting on other people's reporting. Hey, everybody, let me take a minute to thank Cisco Spark for supporting This Week in Startups. You work with people in multiple locations. I bet you do if you're listening to This Week in Startups. And working together was never easier than with the Cisco Spark system. The Cisco Spark board is amazing, and you can do great video meetings, team messaging, digital whiteboarding, file sharing, and calling all in one secure app. You don't need to have the Cisco Spark board. That's amazing to have like we have in our offices, but you can just use Cisco Spark, and it works on all your devices, and it's completely free. Other products cost a lot of money, as you know, per seat. Cisco Spark works on all your devices, and it's free. It's the fastest way to host and join meetings, and it works with industry-leading video systems like the Cisco Spark board. The Cisco Spark board is, of course, touch-based. It's an all-in-one device. You just plug it in and you're ready to go. It's designed for large rooms and for small ones. You can do video calling, digital whiteboarding, a wireless presentation on the 55 or the whopping 70-inch screen. We use the Cisco Spark board here to do whiteboarding and to do meetings. And once you put a bunch of files into a chat room, you can pull them right up on the Cisco Spark board. It's so easy to use. Go visit ciscosparkboard.com and you can learn more and sign up for free. So if you're a fan of the show, and you're working in business there, you want to get some meetings going, go to ciscospark.com to learn more and sign up free. It's an amazing product, well worth a visit, ciscospark.com to learn more. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode.